50, over 70? So what? Welcome to Over 50, So What? I'm Carol O'Halloran. And this is the show where we learn stuff, we do stuff, and we have fun. Don't know about you, but as we age, there seems to be so much to learn about how to navigate the aging process. Elder Rights Advocacy can definitely help us navigate aging for ourselves or for our loved ones. Today, we're speaking again with Deborah Nicol to tell us more. Fitness and moving our body is so important for our mental, our physical, emotional health, as well as keeping our brains vital. Please join us in the fun 5-minute fitness segment, even if you do it sitting down. Lastly, we're off to the e-bike and e-trike expo. Maybe you want a bit of assistance getting up hills, maybe your balance is not so good, and you'd like to try a trike. Or maybe you just want to try something different. Enjoy the show. As an older Australian, do you know your rights? Maybe you feel yourself or someone you care about is being emotionally or physically abused. Maybe you just want to work out what services are available as we age. Today, we're speaking with Deborah Nicol, CEO of Elder Rights Advocacy. Hi Deborah, welcome back to Over 50 So What?
Hi Carol, thank you so much for having me.
We talked last time a lot about advocates or support people that can help you with difficult situations. Can you just give a brief overview of what ERA does?
So Elder Rights Advocacy provides the National Aged Care Advocacy Program. So that's independent advocates who provide you with free and confidential information on your rights about aged care services and just generally. You mentioned elder abuse, Carol. So if the older person needs any help or assistance or guidance if they feel they are in an abusive situation, and we know that often that will be around financial matters, then they're also welcome to come and have a chat with us.
Yes, with the elder abuse, we've done some segments on the show previously, and can quite often just be a family member, financially abusing someone else. There's many different types of elder abuse. So can you just give us an overview of that, how you help with elder abuse, and then also the role of working with OPAN?
So we will often refer the people on to a service that is most appropriate, and that might be a service that can provide legal support, or indeed if they're suffering some form of abuse through their aged care service, and this is sometimes unintentional, but it is still abuse, then we can most certainly directly help them in dealing with that by speaking with the provider. So it just depends on, as you say, many different types of abuse. It depends on the type of abuse and who's going to be the most appropriate service to support the older person.
So what is the role of OPAN then in conjunction with ERA? And who is OPAN?
So the Older Persons Advocacy Network was founded back in 2017 by the foundation members. One of those foundation members was Elder Rights Advocacy, and now OPAN is, you might say, a peak body for us, and they are able to speak to the government on national issues. So we're very much focused on the rights of older Victorians.
Well, that makes it a lot clearer. So the person sitting at home maybe need a bit of help with elder abuse or with aged care services. The first thing they should do is contact ERA, is that right?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, excellent. Now, when it comes to aged care services, I've been to a few expos in Jeff's shed, and there is just a plethora of people offering all types of different services, and it can be really overwhelming. How does ERA help the average person to navigate that massive landscape of aged care services?
Well, we do understand what's available, and we know again what your rights are with regard to accessing aged care services. So we can absolutely help you navigate that, all the way from signing up with My Aged Care to have that initial assessment. They can directly help you do that, or just guide you through the process. It really depends on what level the older person is seeking.
I know we mentioned this previously, but we'll mention again that a younger family member can also ring.
Oh, absolutely. And to be honest with you, most often it is the representative, the sons, the daughters, the friends, the carers who will contact our service on behalf of the older person. We do always like to, if we can though, speak with the older person directly, or at the very least get their consent to act on their behalf. But certainly anyone can call us for information.
Fantastic. Now, we touched on the community visitor scheme a few years ago on the show. That's something else that you handle. Can you explain the community visitor scheme and what it is?
Absolutely. So community visitors scheme is about providing social support to isolated older people. It is going to change its name.
Are you going to tell us what it is?
Yeah, I will. I'll tell you what it is. We're waiting to see if we get an expansion to our community visitors scheme, and it will be called the Aged Care Volunteer Visitors Program. It essentially will be the same thing, and that is providing that social support.
Well, at least the new name says what it is. It's a volunteer support system, supporting those who are a bit isolated. Can you give us an example of the sort of person who might take advantage of the visitor scheme?
It could be someone still living in their own home who have no family nearby. We have a lot of older people who contact us and say their family live overseas or interstate. They're not out and about, they're not making friends, they don't have anyone living nearby, so they're feeling quite isolated. And of course COVID exacerbated this for many people as well. So we can organise for our volunteer visitors. They'll be matched and make sure it's someone, you know, with similar interests and someone that you might form a friendship with while you're out and about in the community. So we match our volunteer visitors with the older person, and then they can go in and visit with that person. We've also got them making phone calls or writing letters. Again, it's up to the older person and the volunteer visitor to determine how they would like the relationship to develop.
So a lot of people watching today, you know, they'd like to do something to give back to the community, they'd like to volunteer, and that's another way that they can actually come and connect with someone else and help another older person. So if someone watching today would like to get involved as a volunteer, what should they do?
They should give us a call. We'd be very welcoming to anyone who wants to volunteer. Often it is older people themselves who volunteer, but we also have younger people. I will never forget the day a young woman came into the office with her gorgeous little baby, and she said, I want to volunteer because my baby is going to grow up without grandparents, and I want her to have older people in her life. I can tell you we had a lot of older people put their hand up and say, yes, we're happy to have a young person with a baby come and visit with us.
I know the value of that service for the older person that's isolated on their own. Going back a bit, my dad was on his own and I was over in Australia. And he had a phone call every day, just checking on him, and he looked forward to that phone call every day and had a lovely chat to them, and it really made his day.
It makes the day of the volunteer as well. So many of our volunteers say to us, this has just changed my life, you know. I feel like I'm really making a difference in the lives of other people.
Yeah, it's a good reason to get out of bed in the morning.
Absolutely, yeah.
For someone watching today, if they want to know more about how to navigate all the aged care services, or maybe it's an issue of elder abuse of some kind, or maybe it's to know more about the community visitor scheme, what would you suggest?
I would suggest that they give us a call, or of course we do also have a website. You're very welcome to go onto our website, gather some further information, era.asn.au.
Oh, okay, good. Thanks for that, Deborah. Thanks for having me on the show again.
It's been my absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Holding a chair for support. We're going to do a bright, bouncy little walk. You do little walks like this. Bigger if you can. Don't stop moving. Don't stop getting out of your chair. Move that body. Don't stop. Now we're going to take it forward. Come forward. And bounce on the spot. Punching the arms down. Just hold it there. Yes. Take it back. That's it. Bounce and move. Bounce. Punch it Come forward. Yeah, and punch it down. And back. And down. We're going to do a few more of these. And bounce. Take it back. And bounce. Now we're going to walk to the side. And bounce with a bicep and side. Bounce, get those arms moving. Are you on your feet yet? Come on, you can do it. And bounce. We'll do two more. 1. And back. And now we're going to go into a lunge. So, you take one leg out, lean on it, knee over toe, get the biceps going, hold that. Just check to make sure your knee's over your toe. Back to the middle. And we're going to do a lunge on the other side. Ready? Go. Step, lunge. Bicep. That's it. You got this. We got this. Well, you got this. We got this. We've got it. Back to the middle. We're going to walk forward again. Let's do it. Forward. Down. Back. Forward. And back. Punch it down. Forward. Just go at your own speed. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake. And hold it there. We're going to do sideways again. Ready, set, go. Again, 2 more. Yeah! We're going back to the lunges. Out, bend, and we go. Hit, clap, clap. Or you just use your hand on the chair. Just watch spray, fabulous spray.
Don't stop.
Back to the middle. Little bounce. Don't. That's it. This is a bit of an upbeat song, this one. Gets you going. Gives you energy for the rest of the day. Okay, take a lunge the other way. And we go. That's it. Grab it. Woo! You can do it a little bit deeper. Whoop. I think I've got ants climbing up me. Back to the middle. Okay, you ready? Walk forward. And punch down. And back. Give yourself a pat on the back. You only 5 minutes. That was awesome. Did you used to cycle when you were younger? And you thought you wouldn't mind to get back into it? You're not feeling as fit as you were? You don't think you could cycle up the hills like you once used to? Well, have you thought about e-bikes or e-trikes? Today we're at the Over 50s e-bike and e-trike expo, and we're going to find out all about it. info today. We're with Rev Becker, who is an amazing fountain of knowledge when it comes to everything e-bikes. Now tell us, how long have you been doing this?
I've been building e-bikes for 14 years now, actually. It's crazy.
Yeah, so you're not just an expert in e-bikes, you actually build them. So can you tell us how people can bring a bike in and convert it?
Sure, yeah, we like to bring old bikes back to the future in a manner of speaking. So we can take any bike apart from a carbon fibre one, but pretty much any old trusty steed. We look at the type of rider we're dealing with and which motor will best suit the rider and the bike, and we price it all up and basically either replace one of the wheels or we replace the bottom bracket and crankset with a mid-drive motor, and size the right battery up for the type of riding that the person's wanting to do. Make sure we can take the battery off to make it nice and light for putting into the car, and there's usually spending half the amount of money they would be if they're buying an equivalent quality e-bike straight from a shop.
So they can take the battery off to make it lighter. Some of them you can take the motor off as well?
The motor's harder to take off. Normally it's not designed to take off, but the lighter types of motors only weigh about 2 kilos, so it's no point taking it off if you can just go for a ride with it on. Even if you want to leave the battery at home, if you're riding on the flat one day and you don't need the battery, leave the battery at home, and if you've just got your normal bike anyway.
I think people are going to love that idea, because I wasn't aware myself that you could just convert a bike. So it opens up a whole new possibility, and people, they're full in love with their bike. They don't want to part with it, but here's a way they can carry it through into the future.
It's so true. Like, bikes carry a lot of nostalgia for us, and we've often gone on a lot of adventures with them, and you get attached. And also the comfort, the way you've set it up over the years, it's got those things on it that, you've raised the head stem, and so it's just in the right position and everything, and you don't want to give that up. Go and buy an e-bike, and then you've got to leave the sad old one hanging at home in the stables while you're taking out the new boyfriend. It's just not fair. So, yeah.
When it comes to people who have a bad neck or a bad hip or a bad knee, is that something you can incorporate into what bike or how you direct them?
There's heaps of modifications, even suspension seat posts for back injuries that take the stress out of, and some good handlebar grips that are supporting your wrists more, and all those sorts of things. Tricycles for balance issues are wonderful, so either upright tricycles or recumbents. So I love finding the right solution. I've got a 94-year-old customer. I was really hoping he would come today, actually. His ride's a recumbent, and the minute he can't ride any day, he won't be around for much longer. He came in to try an upright tricycle, and he found the steering really difficult. And so he tried a recumbent against all his inner resistance, because he thought, no, it's too low, I'm going to get run over by a truck. But he tried it, and it was simply wonderful. And now he's got 2 batteries on it, so his range is about 200 k's, and he takes his charger just in case he runs out, and he rides every day.
So there you go. Age is just a number. Don't use that. 94 and still cycling.
It's awesome. Yeah.
So what would you say to all those people watching today that may be using age as an excuse, or a dodgy knee as an excuse, about why they shouldn't get out on a bike?
Well, there's lots of reasons why people don't want to get out on a bike, and most of those are overcome by an e-bike. So it levels out the hills, it allows you to go further, faster average speed, and just enjoy the ride more without having to slog it. It's like an exercise bike that you can turn down when you're getting too tired. So you turn the motor up and you keep going the rest of the way. It just brings that youthful exuberance, that freedom you experienced as a kid, like Dad pushing you along when you were learning to ride. It's just magic. You've got to come and try it for yourself.
Can you tell us, how do people find you?
Well, we're online. We've got a pretty comprehensive website with lots of information, and also a shop tab with all our products. So our web address is rev-bikes.com, and we also can be called at our new phone number, 1300 GO e-bike. So pretty happy if people call us and want to talk through. We love appointments because we like to give people the focused customer attention. So it usually takes at least half an hour to try a couple of bikes, talk through what's going to work for you the best. And so if you can schedule an appointment with us, that's great. We're just right at the train station in Nunawading.
And that's the thing, come and try it. Like today, great opportunity for people to come and try it. So find an opportunity near you to jump on a bike, give it a go.
We have an excellent test track from our store. There's the train line that bike tracks. So it's off the road. It's nice and hilly actually down to Blackburn. And so because you don't want to be crammed along next to cars when you're trying something you're not familiar with. So it's important to try them on the hills too, because a lot of e-bikes feel much the same on flat land. It's really about how they perform on the hills. Yeah.
All right, so to finish off with Rev Becca, we're going to say to people, on your bike. Are you ready?
On your bike!
Now, hi Graham, you're with WARTAG. Can you tell us about WARTAG and who they are and what they do?
We're Whitehorse Active Transport Action Group, so it's all about active transport, being bikes, scooters and walking and anything non-car really. It's keeping people active, particularly the over 50s.
Yes, and we're all about the over 50s and we're all about keeping people active.
Right.
Now, if someone wants to go cycling and they're looking for a group, what would you suggest?
Well, there's some big groups around. If you go onto, I think, Bicycle Network, you'll find that there's access to various groups. Locally, we've got Whitehorse Cyclists, and they've got over 300 members, about 320 members, and they run a whole range of rides, virtually every day of the week, from easy to hard, and that can give, on the easy rides, can give you an introduction to local rides, or even talking around to local riders. I could tell them about 2 or 3 that I ride socially with, and I think other cyclists too ride socially with various groups, and we welcome other people to come and join us.
Is there any particular website or anywhere people should go in particular to find a group for over 50s close to them?
I haven't checked it recently, but I would think Bicycle Network would probably be a good spot to start, because they've got fingers in all bike activities. Yeah.
Yes, the Bicycle Network, and I know a lot of the community centres, they run cycle groups out of them too, so you could check their local community centre.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and U3A I think might have some cycle groups too. Yes, I guess if you ask around, you're bound to bump into someone like you or me that can refer them on.
Yes, because I do cycle. Now, Graham, if someone's sitting at home watching us today and they're thinking about getting up and going cycling, what would you say to them?
Yes, just go. Such a great activity. I mean, I limit my walking now. I've got a crook knee, but I can do 50 kilometre cycle, a recreational ride. And what I like about cycling too is that you get to see places that you wouldn't see walking because you can't cover the distance. And driving, of course, you just miss so much. Get on a bike and you find all different routes. People say, oh, there's not many places to ride, but in fact, there's an enormous number of off-road bike paths around for bikes and scooters and walking. Get out there and look around. Ride around.
Yeah, ride around. Well, that's one of the main reasons I loved moving to Melbourne, because I was in Sydney, because there's cycle paths everywhere and it's great exploring. And my particular love is the coffee cycle. Just about every single cycle group has to go somewhere for coffee.
That's right. We all map out the coffee shops first and then work in a ride around it.
That's right. So what are we going to say? On your bike.
On your bike, yeah. Get with it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Graham.
Thanks, Carol.
Yeah. Woo! Watch out, they're coming through! Ah! That was fantastic! You're going to get one! There appears to be no excuse not to get on a bike or trike. There's a huge variety of bikes and trikes which can be adapted to a multitude of physical conditions, even if you're blind or have other physical challenges. For more information, go to our website, carolohalloran.com. You'll also find information there on Elder Rights Advocacy and our other guests. Please connect with us on Facebook, YouTube and Insta. Over 50, so what? Are you doing at least 5 minutes of fitness a day? There are more fitness videos on YouTube. Ideally, to keep ourselves living independently for as long as possible, we should all be aiming for 30 minutes a day. So get up now and go for a walk. I'm Carol O'Halloran. Over 50, so what? Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?